Oh, hello everyone. My name is Yo, and today actually I'm having a private session with a client of mine, but she has consented for it to be recorded because I feel that the topic that we are dealing with today is quite important and to share it with all of you. So, welcome, Joey Yeap.
Yes, you're welcome. How are
So,
you?
yeah, so today we have decided to discuss about the topic of death. I think very few people are discussing these kind of topics, so I think we can throw some enlightenment on this subject. First of all, I like to bring a concept of the Taoist view of life. That is to say, when a person is born, the Taoists believe that they have a set number of breaths. All right. Say, for example, take for example, if the person is given, let's say, 10,000 number of breath, breathing. All right. So if he's to breathe very fast, it also means that he will use up his life faster. Okay, Joey, you got it?
Yep, yep.
So we see in life, like the tortoise has a long life, and if you were to observe it, it's breathing very, very slow. Likewise, okay, if we humans are born with, example, 1,000 number of breaths that is allotted to a particular person. And if he does exercise, believing that exercise will help him to be healthy and live long, I'm sorry to say, he's on the wrong track. Now, that is why in Tai Chi, in the Chinese art of exercise, we don't emphasize on the strenuous kind of exercise. All right? We do slow movements. We control our breath, and therefore we do not use up our breath unnecessarily while we move the energy and the chi in our body. Okay? So that is a basic concept of life, and it is a Taoist point of view. Now, let's move on to the death process. So there are many kinds of death, and some of them are very fast, like in a motor vehicle accident, all right? And in those cases, many times, the person who says driving a car very fast and involved in an accident, all right? And unfortunately, he passes away. Due to the speed of the death involved, actually the person wouldn't know he died. He really thinks that he survived the accident. And for a number of days, actually, the person will be confused, lingering around the area and wondering why people do not respond to him, wondering why people do not talk to him, and why his family members are unable to see him. So I have one story which is confirmed by a medium, because the family concerned went to the temple, consulted the medium, and the medium said that, well, unfortunately, the son is still wandering about and didn't know that he died because it was in a sudden death in a motorbike accident. Okay, so this is a unfortunate death. Then let's go on to the next form of death. And suicide is what I want to talk about. Because during this pandemic all over the world, the number of suicides are going up and up very fast. People are in serious debts. They lost their jobs. They can't put food on the table, you know. So they have resorted to escape all these issues by committing suicide. So what happens to this soul? Now, many of these souls actually who commit suicide, like everyone else, they have a lifespan given by, we call heavens, you know, the heaven. They're born with a certain amount of lifespan. And for example, let's take an example that this person is supposed to live till the age, let's say, just give a number of 60 years old, and he committed suicide, let's say at 50 years old. Now what happens is he actually owes 10 years. And he has not learned his lesson in this lifetime. So, by the laws of karma, he will have to be reborn and face the same lesson again. So he doesn't really escape it. He's just pushing it to another lifetime. At the meantime, because of his suicide, the family suffers. They are in deep grief. They go into depression. It doesn't solve anything. Okay? So what happens to the 10 years? Some of them are reborn, and at the age of 10 years old, as a little kid, they will die. And then the parents of that kid will be wondering, you know, well, why did their boy or what did their girl pass away after an illness or, you know, whatever, at a young, tender age of 10? So one of the reasons is, remember, this man was supposed to live to the age of 60 and he committed suicide at the age of 10. So he has to relive that number of years allotted to him in the previous life. Or in another scenario, he may get another 60 years, but when it comes to the age of 50, again, he will have the same problem of debts, responsibilities, and then, you know, depression. And he has to learn to get over that lesson. So in other words, suicide doesn't solve problems. They actually create more problem for everybody concerned. So far, you understand, right, Joey?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. We shall continue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, many people talk about when people die and they come back in a near-death experience, they would say that they saw a light, they traveled through the tunnel of light, and then they saw their relatives who have died before them, and then sort of welcoming them and take them to the light. This teaching has been going on for years, but of late, actually, many light workers have a different concept. They are saying now that that light that they see at the end of the tunnel is an artificial light, and do not follow that light. Because if the soul follows that light at the end of the tunnel, it will be caught in the cycle of reincarnation. This is a very new concept, and it's been repeatedly brought up by many psychics and light workers, okay? And I think there is a lot of truth in that. So what is the advice? It's actually to not follow the light, because that is artificial. In fact, to go to the other direction where there is darkness and be free. Okay, so I think this fact would be quite a shock for many people, because they have always thought about following the tunnel of light, you know, following the tunnel and go to the light. Then I will talk about people who have died, but they are still around in our world. So we call them, in the local terms, ghost. Now, why? What happened? Why are they still in our dimension when they should have gone into the other realm, the spirit realm, to rest and then to discuss with the lords of karma about the next reincarnation? So these people falls into a few categories. The first one is that they are afraid of God. And this being afraid of God is actually sometimes brought about by their own religious beliefs, you know, that God would be very angry with them because they have not contributed to humanity, or they have committed so many so-called crimes or sins, you know, as it's been referred to. So they are very afraid of God, and they refuse to be brought to the spirit realm. So they stay back. Now I gave you a few examples so that you can understand more. Actually, I had a case. We used to have an apartment that we didn't stay in. It was used as a sort of weekend, you know, place for us to spend time. And because most of the time, even some weekends, we are so busy, we didn't go to the apartment. So we decided that we got to put on the CCTV, the burglar alarms, and so on and so forth. Then one day, my phone was being activated because the burglar alarm and the CCTV caught some movements in the empty apartment. It would be about 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. So when I viewed the photographs of the CCTV, and I couldn't see anything, but later on in the day, when I have a closer look, I saw some shadows. So I said to my wife, I said, uh-oh, we got a problem. There's something there, you know, residing in our apartment. So time to do my job. I investigated and I found out it was the soul of a Japanese soldier from World War II. You see, I had a little conversation with this Japanese soldier to find out the reason he's around so that I can help him to go beyond and leave our third dimension. I found out that while he was serving in the Japanese army, the first thing was he was forced to join the war, all right? So he was forced to be a soldier. He didn't believe in the war. Secondly, they are told to obey commands. And he didn't get any command from his commander to surrender when the World War II ended in 1945. So he was alone. He was the sole survivor of his patrol. And since he didn't receive any instructions to surrender, he didn't surrender. But the war ended and he kept on living in the jungles, and he died a natural death a few years later on after the war ended. And he stayed there in the jungle. And as the years go by, the hilly area, the jungle area was developed, and buildings were, you know, and a little township was built. And therefore, he was just residing in our apartment. And well, once I knew his story, I told him that it's time for him to leave. The war has ended. And I would show him and sort of escort him out of our dimension. But then he requested for his wife. So now I had another job. I connected with his wife. Luckily, the wife came, and then he left with the wife to the spirit world. And our apartment was free of any other, you know, such paranormal phenomena. Then those people who are very materialistic, like they bought a house or bungalow, they were very, very proud. They were very obsessed with their property. This is another group of people who value material things so much that when they passed on, they still want to hold on to their property. So that is why sometimes you have properties that are haunted, okay? So that is why, particularly in the religion of Buddhism, we do not want any materialistic possession or obsessiveness with possessing anything. And that is why the Buddhist monk only have a bowl to beg for food. He has no other possession, all right? And he should not also feel too connected with the begging bowl, you know? If you lose the bowl, so what? Get a new one. Don't be attached even to the begging bowl. Now, so modernization has becoming, making a lot of people materialistic. Then when I was in London, Joey, I have a friend, and when I visited her, I was shocked to see a huge photograph of her mother who passed away many years ago, you know? So I asked her, why did she put up that photograph? She said, oh, it's a remembrance of a mother who passed away. And then she added that she always felt the presence of a mom. Uh-oh. So then I explained to her that, you know, people who have passed on shouldn't be in our third dimension, and they should go to the spirit world, and they should continue their soul's journey. And she said, yeah, she still feels the mom around, and sometimes it, you know, it troubled her. So I told her the first thing she need to do is to get rid of the huge portrait of her mom. Well, at that time, many years ago, I didn't know how to cross over lost souls, but I just told her to get rid of the photograph, and she did it. And she came back to me and said, yeah, it sort of solved the problem. She doesn't feel the presence of her mother after all these years. And in fact, she's much more happier because now she knows her mother is in a better place, not stuck on earth, you know? So another example to show you why people are stuck in the third dimension is a story of a German couple who hated Jews. And when they passed on and when they died, they remained on this world, and they keep trying to possess the Jews or torment them. These are people with pure hatred in their hearts. So that is why we are taught not to be materialistic. We are taught not to have hatred, to forgive people, forgive our enemies, you know. These are the reasons, because if they have so much hatred, they'll get stuck. All right?
Okay.
So related to our little discussion today is about, which is about death. Related to this is reincarnation. I mean, like now, if a person still don't believe in reincarnation, I mean, that person has a lot to learn, all right? There are many evidence, there are many books written on reincarnation. There are many YouTube videos, you know? So if anyone is still not believing in the reincarnation, I mean, it's really, really tough to bring their consciousness to a higher level. So by this time, reincarnation should be part and parcel of our knowledge. However, Joey, I have a very latest update. So the latest update is that there will be no more reincarnation. Now, this is huge, huge news, all right? Why? Because the process of reincarnation has been going on for thousands of years. But today, we are in 2021, and there's going to be no more reincarnation. This is the latest news from the world of the spirits. And why so? Okay, it brings us to the present moment and the issues today. Because Mother Earth, our Earth, is ascending from the third dimension to the fifth. Mother Earth is not going to ascend to the fourth and stay at the fourth, all right? The fourth is a quick stepping stone, and the final destination is a fifth dimension. In the fifth dimension, it will be a totally different world, which we can call the golden age. Okay? So now, our Mother Earth is going to split into two forms. One, the fifth dimensional Earth, and second, another third dimensional Earth. Now, this third dimensional Earth is reserved for people who are unable to increase the vibration and ascend to the fifth dimension. This third dimensional world will be a terrible, terrible place because it's going to play out their dog-eat-dog life, the rat race, the racism, the hatred, the murders, the acts of sin. They will all be gathered there in a new...
Are we not in the third dimension world now?
Well, we are, but parts of Earth has already ascended to the fifth dimension. And if we are not in the fifth dimension now, if your vibration is high enough, you are living in the fifth dimension on a third dimension Earth. It gets complicated, but I have experienced, periods of fifth dimension. Okay, all right. So basically, I'm just going to explain why there is no reincarnation. There's no more reincarnation because our Earth is splitting into the fifth dimension and into another third dimension, planet Earth, right? Where all the negative vibration and energy carries on. And those who are on that third dimensional Earth, they will be there for they will be there with reincarnation, reimposed, for the next 26,000 years before they can ascend to a fifth dimension world. So that is why it is so important that we make our decision now that we should vibrate higher frequencies. We should change our mindset, be more loving, have more forgiveness, be helpful to people, all right? And so on and so forth. That is the fifth dimensional frequency and vibration and thinking, all right? Otherwise, they will be put into a new 3D Earth just for them. So basically, I have sort of touched on these few things in the subject of death, reincarnation, and so on. And if you have any questions, Joey, you can ask now. Oh, I can't hear you. Are you muted?
What? Yeah, it's regarding why you say that there's no more reincarnation.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
Yeah. You are saying that you're going to emphasize more on why is it that the reincarnation has stopped, or as of like your latest news, you were saying?
Yeah, it's because the Earth is splitting into two.
Oh, okay. So that's
right.
The reason. Okay.
If you are in the fifth dimension, fifth dimensional Earth, in the golden age, we will be not under the subject of reincarnation.
Okay. Right.
And for the other group of people, all right, the negative people, very negative vibration, they were put into a third dimensional planet and live their life as such. All right? With a concentration of so many negative people, can you imagine what their world will be like? It's going to be horrible. Okay?
Yeah, I can imagine. Yes.
Yeah, right. So we touch on the subject of death and then why people get stuck, and and a little bit on reincarnation and the new earth, which we call Nova Terra or Nova Terra, Terra Nova, you know, in the golden age, right? Now let's talk about people dying in this due to COVID.
Okay.
I discovered that these are all soul contracts. In other words, you can look at it as karma, as karmic. All right. So some of these souls are very good souls, but they choose to leave during this time because they want to awaken the others. All right. All right. Right. So you cannot look down at them and say that, oh, because they have bad karma. Because some of them, with a soul contract, they choose to live this way, so that people will wake up from the disinformation that is going on, from how governments solve the problem in a way that is not in sync with basic human rights. Okay, so that is another huge topic which I wouldn't want to get into because can talk too much about that. So in a nutshell, the death that we are seeing with people in the COVID infection, and some of them are due to the vaccination, some of them really, all right? They're all is to awaken the masses, okay? And the new variant, the new SARS-CoV variant called the Delta variant, is given the name the Delta variant. I've also discovered that this is a bit difficult to explain, but to us energy workers, it's the same virus. It has not mutated actually. It's the same virus, but because also you may notice that time is speeding up, you know. It wasn't so fast. It wasn't long ago that we were in April, and now we are in July. You get what I mean? If you have noticed it, time has been speeded up, and therefore, karma is also being speeded up. And the soul contracts have been speeded up. All right? So that is why the so-called variant is being mentioned as being more virulent, being more ferocious. These are the words they use to create fear. Fear is the worst enemy today. If you have fear of the darkness, if you have fear of being alone, if you have fear of the virus, that's not the vibration you should be in. Okay? All right? So, we have almost come to the end of our discussion. And you have anything to ask or any comments, Joey?
Yeah, talking about that fifth dimension, the splitting up of Mother Earth. I
Yes.
know you have already mentioned how to, to portray or to let go. I know you have already mentioned, but is there any more that you would like to emphasize on how uh, to move into fifth dimension for any human
Oh yeah,
people like
I mean, it's a huge topic, but perhaps we have a little bit time left to summarize. The first thing actually is to take care of your body because your body is changing.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of new energies coming in is changing our carbon-based body to a crystalline-based body because during this ascension time, for the first time in the history of the universe, I believe that physical human beings would ascend with their physical body to the fifth dimension. And we have to change our body to the crystalline nature to survive in the fifth dimension. So take care of your body, all right? Have all the nutrients, have a balanced diet, not necessarily going into being a vegetarian, not necessary, but if you will shift your diet more to a vegetarian diet and less to, the meats, I think that would be better. Have enough rest, sleep, drink plenty of water, and do the meditation to calm your body, to calm your mind, all right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And live the life of a light bearer. That means, think the proper way,
Mm.
do the proper things,
Okay.
speak the
Okay.
proper way.
Mm.
And
Yep.
all this has been taught
Yep.
by Lord Gautama
Yep.
Buddha, all right?
Correct. Correct.
Now you got to practice it, right?
Mm.
In the thinking,
Mm-hmm.
in the speech, in the heart, the feelings, in the actions, all right?
Wisdom and compassion.
That's right. That's
Yes,
right.
wisdom and compassion. Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
So,
Mm.
and these are the things that you should be doing and focus on the positive aspect of things rather than the
Okay.
negative aspect, where you
Mm.
put your energy into the negative aspect, like
Mm.
fear of getting sick,
Mm.
fear of getting cancers,
Mm.
fear of getting the COVID,
Mm.
all right? You attract these
Mm.
things when you put your energy and your focus in. So
Mm.
shift the focus, all
Yes.
right?
Mm.
That
Right.
means count your blessings,
Mm. Yep.
right? Wow, I'm so happy. I'm able to do my homework, or I'm so
Mm-hmm.
happy because I'm able to do my housework.
Mm.
Simple
Mm.
things, little things,
Simple
but
things. Yes.
it brings up your vibration,
Yeah. Correct.
all right? Being
Mm.
in joy, being in happiness, being in the now,
Yeah. Being in the now. Correct. Yes.
right?
Correct. That is the
Right?
right thing. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, being in the
Mm.
now. But make sure your now is focused on the positive
On the
side,
positive. Yes. Okay.
all right?
Agree.
Yeah.
Understand. Yep.
Any little issues that you want me to elaborate, Joey?
Mm. No. No. It has basically answered most of my. It has answered most of my questions. Yeah.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. Although this is a very short session,
Yeah.
but I think I've covered quite a bit, all right?
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
we do not engage in simple talk to waste the time.
Yes.
So
Correct.
I'm so happy that I'm able to complete this session with you. And Joey, you know how to connect with me, all right?
Yes.
Uh,
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Maybe later on you may have a question or two, you please connect with me.
Yes.
And
Okay.
for my viewers, I would thank you for taking your time to see this video. And you think if it is useful, please, you know, recommend it to your family, your friends, and so on. And hopefully it is very helpful to everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hok Yo, may I have one question? Just one
Sure,
quick one.
sure.
You were saying that you just got the latest news on no more reincarnation. Is this the most recent and the latest news that we, because I have actually touched on this, and I just want to reconfirm that it just came up, or
yeah, it is as recent as probably not more than 1 month. I think it's less than a month.
Okay.
Yeah, it's as recent as that.
Mm.
Okay, so to me, although I was a little bit surprised, but having the basic knowledge, I understand why. That it has to stop now. And that's why things are speeding up, you know.
Mm.
Everything is speeding up, all right? Things are being brought up.
Brought forward, you mean?
Brought forward. So
Okay.
let's say Mr. A, suddenly he finds himself with so much problems, you know, you know, a breakup, and then a minor accident, and then a little bit in debt, all together at once, you see. This is to clear his karma as much as possible.
Okay.
And bring him forward, him or her, bring them forward. So especially light warriors and light workers, boy, I tell you, we had it rough. Really, really rough.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Understand.
And therefore, Joey, don't ask God, why me?
Yeah, correct. No, I've never asked that question. No,
Yeah, I
never
mean,
in my life. Yeah.
in general, I would say a
Yes,
lot of people say,
yes,
why
yes,
me?
yes, yes,
Huh?
correct.
Instead, bring it on. Let's
Yeah,
finish. Let's clear it.
let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you know.
True,
Okay,
true.
and
Good, good.
I
Thank
think
you.
we can close this session.
Okay,
And
sure.
as usual, I will
Yeah.
say, "Oh, ni to."
Oh, 阿弥陀佛。
Bye.